Hi everyone, and welcome back to the part 3 of this video series, and it's going to be about sourcing products. This is where I would say probably 70 to 80% of Amazon sellers who are starting out struggle the most, which is to find the profitable products to sell on Amazon. And today I'm going to be going over the criteria that that I personally use, as well as tips that how you can basically find products through something I'm going to talk about, which is reverse sourcing. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's probably because you're new to this series. And basically, I'm going over from the very beginning of doing Amazon resellings, and this is basically the third part. So maybe it's better if you watch the first and second part first before beginning here, so that everything makes sense to you. Now, I do want to mention, like every other video, that this is for educational purposes only, and you have to do your own research if you want to basically invest, if you want to grow your own business, blah, blah, blah. And also, I want to give a personal shout out to Vad, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, from Seller Union, as well as Thomas from Fast Track FBA, because they have actually helped me a lot in some indirectly and directly in some ways. And they're very informative with all their the Facebook groups and even YouTube videos. And I'll leave a link down in the description in case you guys are curious to watch them as well. Anyways, let's get started. Now, this is actually a second take of this particular video. I actually tried to record it a few days ago, but I went to ski and I was really tired, and I don't know why I decided to do a video, and I felt like it wasn't that informative and I missed out a lot of things. So yeah, here goes. So basically, let's talk about the criteria first of what you're going to be looking for in terms of finding profitable products. So I typically try to go for products that make a minimum profit of $4 Canadian dollars here. So you might have to make adjustment to basically your own home country or your own home marketplace or whatever. And this is just my personal criteria, right? Like, I don't always follow that as well. If I see a product, so let's say here I wrote that I'm trying to look for a product that's like 40% ROI or above, but if I know the product is selling well and quick, I might take even lower, like 25%, 30% ROI, and I might even take lower profit, like $3 for instance. But that I would basically offset, I don't know if that's the right word to use here, that with higher ROI of like 50% if I was going to take lower profit. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'll go over everything once we actually get into examples of finding the products. And in terms of the profit margin, I try to look for something that's 20% or above. Now, with that said, I don't always follow my own rule. And even when I'm doing wholesale products, I take as little as 15% profit margins now. And again, we're going to be going over in terms of looking at the Fba Calculator, so everything makes sense to you. In terms of the weight, if you're doing FBA, try to keep the weight under a kilogram would be good. So maybe like 2.5 pounds at most. Because if you're shipping something heavier than that, that's going to affect the inbound cost and then the pack and ship fee as well. So take into consideration of those fees. Also, the size. I try to aim for a product that's under 18 inches. I think it was 18 inches, because if you go over that by just an inch or something, it will be considered an oversized product, and you have to ship it in a separate box, which you can do as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just simpler when I don't know if you can see behind me. I pack a big box and then I just throw all the products together into one box, based on the weight and everything. So that tends to be more cost effective to ship them out to the fulfillment center. Now, for the purchase products, in terms of the pricing, I aim for a product that's under 50 Canadian dollars. I would even go as way lower than that, even below $30 or something. And that really comes down to your own personal preference, because I have heard, I read in Facebook group, I personally don't do this because I always sell low ticket items and I try to sell in more mass quantity over, the price. And some people sell more purchase price that are a lot higher. Some people sell high ticket products over $100 for I don't know, they mark it up to $200-300 or something like that. I don't like doing that personally, because if you have to deal with returns, like if those people who customer who cancel the orders or they wanted a refund or something, then once they open the package, you just lose some money on those. So I don't know, like it really is your own preference here. And in terms of bestseller ranking, which you're gonna see me talking a lot in this series, it's so hard to basically give you a perfect criteria of like you should sell this much in this, like this amount, because every seller ranking really varies depending on the marketplace that you're selling in, and also depending on the category you're selling in. So in Canada, I tend to aim for, like, let's say grocery product of under $20,000. Sorry, it's not 20,000. 20,000 in seller ranking. So the lower the sales rank, the more sales you're gonna make, because those products are faster moving, which is a little bit different. Whereas a higher sales rank means basically you're selling less product and it's less popular in general. So like 20K for grocery in Canada is okay. I try to aim for like 60K for like toys and games within those categories, where some people sell even above 100K because they know that there's less competitor up there, but also they sell slower. And I should also mention that my best selling categories are actually in grocery, beauty, and toys. And that's what I noticed, and I do sell in various other categories. Now these are all restricted, and I'll get into that in probably in the next slide. Hazmat products. Hazmat products just simply means like I don't know if it's an Amazon term or something, but basically all those dangerous goods that contains those aerosol spray, like hand sanitizer, basically alcohol, batteries, and all those chemicals. So I personally recommend you to skip all, because you have to find safety data sheets, and that gets really complicated especially for beginners. And I only sell very particular hazmat products I know are really selling well. Otherwise, I think it's not worth the hassle to ship them separately and stuff like that. But it depends on the people. Like I know in the group that they find it very profitable to sell. IP brands, also known as intellectual property rights, like those are some of the well-known brands to basically will charge you against, just avoid selling all those IP brands altogether, because they actually don't allow you to be reselling things on Amazon. So avoid them together. And how to know is, like I said in the last video, to use the sourcing tools, and those sourcing tools have many reports from different resellers and people who are using the software and stuff for you to know that this brand has been having issue with resellers in the past, so you can avoid them. And you don't want to get into it, because once they make all these like crazy letters, lawyers looking like, you just avoid it altogether. And in terms of the sourcing techniques, there are basically like probably 3 different ways. There are many ways to actually do research. I tend to do and I'm going to be teaching about reverse sourcing by looking at the storefront of other competitors, and then finding a profitable products first, and then you go find the suppliers later. Whereas you can also do manual sourcing, which is basically, say you go into walmart.com, walmart.ca or wherever, and then you look at different section of like clients or something, and then you try to search for like if this listing is on Amazon and it's profitable or not. I find that it's less efficient for me. You can also use various software such as like Tactical Arbitrage, which is probably really well known, but I really have a love and hate relationship with Tactical Arbitrage, because it gives me a lot of mismatch and a lot of like errors in finding variations. Even when the matching quality should have been like over 90%, I'm still finding a lot of mismatch altogether. So I feel like it's not as effective. Then again, like I found some of my like replenishable products that I'm still selling to today, and ironically it's not picked up by Tactical Arbitrage anymore, but it's still selling so well that I'm actually making a lot of money from it. So in some ways it did pay off my subscription, the monthly subscription that I pay for. So I have a mixed feeling about this. You can also look at like the deal page where you pay somebody to basically source for you, and then you buy that deal to sell on Amazon. But from what I heard, I've never used it personally myself, and from what I heard, a lot of people try using it, and then a lot of sellers hop onto the listing and the price tank. So I don't really like that as well. And yeah, so like I mentioned in the 2 slides ago about the fact that if you're just starting out, you're gated or you're restricted in so many brands and categories. And like I said, my best selling categories are actually within the restricted or gated ones. And to basically ungate yourself, which is basically gaining the permission to sell within those brands and categories, is to basically make purchase from wholesale distributors. And I made an entirely separate video on how you can ungate all those categories and brands for entirely for free, and I'll probably put that in the description somewhere for you guys to see. And I think like I was able to scale up my business significantly after I got ungated into those categories, and I highly recommend you to do so as well. So now let's hop in onto the web browser, and then we're going to be looking at different sellers and where to go from here. All right, so for the sake of time, I decided to pick this product as the starting point. But how you find a product like this, and I'm actually not using this as a product that's a good example to sell, because I used to sell this in the past and then the price tanked like crazy. So we're actually going to be looking at different sellers who are on this listing and see if they're selling anything profitable. But how I found this product in the first place, and this is where it gets a little tricky here, because you want to go into your possibly your local stores. If you have no idea what products that are selling well on Amazon, go into your local stores and try to scan a couple of things and see what brands show up and blah blah blah. So an example would be let's just say IKEA products. Like, don't sell anything from IKEA because they're well known to get the IP claims as well. But let me go straight. Hold on, give me 1 second here. IKEA product is a good starting point because you know that, like, let's just say this one. I'm sure that this was like under $2 in IKEA, if I remember correctly. So like you see that these are different sellers here. You know that they are reselling because IKEA is not selling directly, obviously. So let's just say if I was gonna click into this seller would be pretty good to look at. So wait, let me slow it down just a little bit. So once you've narrowed down in terms of like what brands actually sells on Amazon, the starting point would be to go into the new offers here, and then you would look at different resellers or basically any sellers really, and look at the ones that have probably ratings of over 50 would be pretty decent. Over 100 would be even better. And just basically click into their storefront. So how you click is basically just look at sold by whoever, this name, click into it, and then we're going to be looking at basically what products they're selling. So this is actually the storefront of the this particular seller here with good ratings. That's good. So we're going to be going to products. I find it, like I said, I find this strategy a little bit more effective because you're looking at whatever is profitable first, and then you go out to find the supplier or wherever retail store you buy from later. And unfortunately, it looks like this seller sells a lot of grocery and IKEA products. So maybe we can, like I said, that grocery products are like one of my best categories, really. Like, I'm just being upfront with you, and you're not allowed to sell that. So I'm like, in this series, I'm probably just gonna look for a few good examples, and if they're really good, I'll even buy them myself, obviously, because I'm spending time to not only do recordings for you guys, but also doing research for myself as well. Okay, so yeah, and I'm probably gonna speed ramp through the video because I don't want it to take too long, but I also want to show you basically how I'm finding the products live, like, or semi-live recording style, so that you kind of get the idea of like basically what I'm doing in my head, really. And basically I'm going in through this particular sellers that I was just mentioning earlier, and then I was looking at the products that he or she or they are selling well here. And typically the first few pages of the seller's storefront are the ones that are most profitable or most selling product, whereas the back is not as good. So we're going to be looking at this product here because if you go into like TJ Maxx, HomeSense or something, I'm sure you can find this product for like $7-8, and he or she or they are selling for $20. So I'm pretty sure there's a profit potential to be marked up here. And I should go over before I search for this product. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a supplier, and I guess this is the hard part too, right? You find profitable products, you're making sure everything looks good on the research side, and then you have to go out and find a supplier because he or she or they could have found this product at a massive clearance or something, and then you might not be able to compete with it, or maybe the supply at wherever you're selling is too high, who knows. But you know, it's all moving components, right? And what I typically look for, and this is the great thing about the software I'm using, the AC site from Ace and Zen, is that it shows everything into one. You can use Fba Pro, you can use Seller Amp that I mentioned in the last video, and they tend to work pretty similarly. But here, what we're looking for is the fact that I'm eligible to sell this product, and there's no like restriction into the categories that I'm selling. So this is health and personal care, which is probably restricted as well. So you might want to look for a wholesale supplier who can supply health products to get unrestricted into this category. And also, it's not a dangerous good product, so you don't have to worry about hazmat that I discussed earlier. Now we're going to be going over to look at supply, see if we can find anything here. So everything has to look exactly the same. If not the same, like you're gonna see that the UPC barcode is still exactly the same because it has to match. Like sometimes the manufacturer may update the style in the photos, and whereas on Amazon it might have, be the like it might be kept the same and not updated yet. So that's what we're gonna be looking through. This is same as. Okay, so I'm actually gonna skip this product even though the sales rank is pretty good, and the monthly sales and everything looks checked out well, but the profit margin is rather low, and I can't find the exact one that looks like this, but like even at $7 here, we're not gonna be making much, and I'm not particularly happy with that. I know I can find better products than this, so we're gonna skip this one. This one completely skipped right away. See, it said hazmat isn't allowed, and if you're just using the Amazon Seller app or the Seller Central, I'm sure it marks somewhere for the hazmat as well. I think they updated already, but using sourcing software like this just makes it look cleaner and like you can see it right away. Okay, so we found quite a decent product, and so this product here, I'm just gonna show you. It looks slightly different from the Walmart one, but it's actually exactly the same. I've been comparing back and forth for a while before I show it to you guys. SKU number 3. Yeah, it's fine. And basically, whoever created this listing created a multi-pack or bundle. That's what they call it, and then they sell it together, which is why probably the UPC barcode could be different. And it doesn't really meet the criteria that I mentioned earlier about the 40% ROI, blah blah blah. But also, like, because the purchase cost here, what we're looking at is basically buying 2 to sell them as a set. We're buying for spending $8 and shipping them in. The weight is not that much, so 2 pounds probably. Probably like $1 maybe, give or take. Basically this is the calculators that I'm using already accounted for my inbound shipping fee, so I don't really worry about it too much. I'm just telling you because it's 2 pounds, So expect about $1 because each pound is probably like 0.5 dollar or something like that for the shipment. And yeah, you're spending about $8 to get back approximately $4. So I think that's a pretty decent deal for me. And I think personally I would make a purchase for this. I wouldn't worry about the hazmat because I can't see how this could be a dangerous good by all means for pets. And everything seems to check out for me, and this is something I would personally buy, and I think I would actually buy it. Now I'm gonna be saving the storefront that we've been looking at earlier, as well as a couple more that I've been clicking on the tabs up here. And then because it's getting late and I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm gonna come back another day to do the follow-up like recording to this series as well, and then show you guys to find more profitable products through this strategy as well. Anyways, hope you liked the video, and I'll be back in another time. Thanks for watching.